but I still can't understand how you could stay out so late, no matter how much fun you had.
I can't figure that out either. I remember everything perfectly up to someplace we were dancing, and the next thing I remember, I was driving down Main Street, and Marvel was waiting.
You didn't go to sleep somewhere or something?
I don't think so. You know me, I never get tired. Did somebody say something about let's all get married or something?
No.
Or did I dream it? Yes, they did. And some of those poor, dumb kids thought that would be a wonderful idea.
No.
Can you imagine getting hitched up in the middle of the night with a curtain ring to somebody that's going away that you might never, ever see again, Emmy?
You don't suppose any of them were dumb enough to... Trudy. What's that on your finger? You didn't. You didn't. Oh, Trudy. Are you sure you can't remember his name?
How can I remember his name when I can't even remember... Wait a minute. I remember I danced with a tall, dark boy with curly hair and a little short one with freckles and a big, fat blonde one that sang in my ear and... But if I married any of those, it would have been the tall, dark one with curly hair, don't you think?
That's a big help. Now, all we've got to do is line up all the curly-haired men in the Army and the Navy and the Marine Corps.
It had a Z in it.
His hair?
No, his name, foolish, like Ratsky-Watsky. Private Ratsky-Watsky. Or was it Zitsky-Witsky?
With a name like that, I'd forget him.
Oh, now you knocked it out of my head.
What's the matter with us? If you got married, you must have given your name. Now, all we've got to do is find out where you got the license. And then we've got your name and his name and the date and everything, and there you are.
I just remembered something else.
What?
Somebody said, don't give your right name.
But you didn't fall for it. You told them to go suck a lemon. You weren't such a corn-fed dope as to... What name did you give?
I don't remember.
And the guy can't ever find you, even if he comes looking for you. Then we'll never even know if you got married.
I hope not.
If you'll just follow these instructions and come in again in about a month.
Thank you, Doctor.
There. You'll find your husband. I'm sure of it. And if you shouldn't find him, you will find him.
Thank you, Doctor. You don't have to tell anybody. I mean, you won't tell anybody until I find him.
Of course I won't, Trudy. I'm a doctor, not a gossip schmear.
Thank you, Doctor.
Well?
Well, what?
How are we doing?
Great.
Then we're really in a mess.
Not you, just me.
So what? You don't have to cry about it. You're not the first dumb cluck who couldn't find her husband. What with the war and all, there'll probably be millions of them. They say they have much the prettiest babies, too.
He'll come back. He has to come back. What are you laughing about?
I was just wondering whether I was going to be an aunt or an uncle.
Oh, stop it, will you?
I'm trying to make you smile, Trudy. Come on, we'll see Mr. Johnson, the lawyer.
What for?
To find out if you're really married.
Kind of hard to convince, aren't you?
Certainly she's married.
Even with a phony name, Mr. Johnson?
What's the name got to do with it? Marriage is a matter of fact, not names. Marriage is celebrated, I presume. They usually are.
I think so.
Well, since you're here on behalf of a friend who does not wish to appear, all I've got to say is your friend ought to be ashamed of herself.
She's a very nice girl. It just happened, that's all.
I mean, because of her carelessness. The responsibility for recording a marriage has always been up to the woman. If it wasn't for her, marriage would have disappeared long since. No man is going to jeopardize his present or poison his future with a lot of little brats hollering around the house unless he's forced to. It's up to the woman to knock him down, hog time, and drag him in front of 2 witnesses immediately, if not sooner. Any time after that, it's too late. Your friend doesn't remember the bridegroom's name.
No, sir.
And she used an assumed name. Perfect. That's really airtight.
Didn't you do anything, Mr. Johnson?
What, for instance?
Divorce him or null him?
Or sue him for alimony?
Sue who? And all who? Look, I practice the law. I'm not only willing but anxious to sue anyone, anytime, for anything. But they gotta be real people with names and corpuses and meat in their bones. I can't work with spooks. Your friend doesn't need a lawyer. She needs a medium.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
That will be $5, which you'll kindly hang on to and buy flowers with on a happy day. For your friend, of course.
You don't have to tell anybody, do you, about our friend?
How could I when I don't even know who she is?
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Well, I gotta get back to the store now, Amy. Could you get me a sandwich and bring it in to me, a Swiss on rye?
Sure, but the way I look at it, it was a man got our friend in the soup. Let a man get her out of it.
But how?
Well, she could always get married, couldn't she?
How can I get married when I'm already married?
Don't talk about yourself. We're talking about our friend. It's all very well to say she's married, but when the time comes to prove...
Are you trying to say our friend is a liar?
Don't talk so loud.
Well, you better not.
Look, I'm only 14. My ideas probably aren't any good anyway. I was only trying to be helpful. Our friend could just marry somebody, and then one day...
Oh, sure. And then one day she could say, oh, by the way, there's something I forgot to mention. Anyway, I'm already married. Mr. Johnson said so.
What does he know? He takes in rumors. Nobody's gonna believe it. Nobody believes good unless they have to, if they've got a chance to believe something bad.
But that would be bigamy.
How can it be bigamy if they didn't get your right name? You never got married. That was somebody else.
Maybe I could ask some of the other girls who were on the party.
If they knew, we would have heard about it, you can bet your life. You must have slipped away somewhere and done it quietly like a couple of movie stars.